Hey Kyle, welcome to the show. Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you for being here and welcome to our new show, Spotlight. Spotlight, where we take some amazing people in the gaming and esports space and we talk about them, we promote what they're doing. And as we know, there's been a ton of layoffs in the past year in tech, in video games, and esports. And so really, I think we all need to be doing our part here on the LinkedIn community as well as the gaming esports space community, just to help people connect. And hopefully you are out there right now and you're going to hear some amazing information from our guest. Jonathan Lassiter is with us today. How are you today, sir?
It's another day in paradise.
It's great, man.
I'm doing pretty good. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming to my show the other day. And we were just doing a little research on LinkedIn about all the people out there in the gaming space who have some talent that needs to be used. So, man, I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah, of course. And I feel like I have a talent that, maybe people don't really pay attention to, but I can help somebody out, or at least I feel like I could.
Yeah. Well, let's dive into that here. Let's go back though for you and how you got to where you were, Jonathan. And let's see. Let's ask first. What was like the first video game you played growing up?
That would probably I honestly started with the Nintendo, like the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Like my dad bought the whole setup. We had like Mario Duck, the Mario Duck Hunt, RC Pro Am,
Yeah.
Marble Madness. We had like the track and field thing with the pad and all we do.
Yes.
We had the whole setup. So like that was my first kind of jump into video games. And then one of my neighbors that I grew up with, we knew each other from like the age of 5. And so like he had the Nintendo, but then he also had a Sega Master System.
Oh.
So like the original Sega console, I'd never seen this before. Had no idea about it, but I mean, this was before Sonic the Hedgehog. I think the main character for the Master System was Alex the Kid. So I don't.
Yeah.
I'm aging myself incredibly here, but that was the mascot of the original Sega, and then it just kind of went from there.
That.
Like as I
do
got
remember
older, I went to the mall, started going to arcades, and that's when I started getting into the fighting game, Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat. What else? We can kind of fast forward, but like when I started competing, that was around 2000, 2002. Soul Calibur 2 came out, and I had already started actually working in an arcade. I was an attendant, eventually became a manager, but that's when I started my tournament career, was with Soul Calibur 2, playing in the local tournaments, and then we were going to like local arcades. Like this is back in the the territory days where
tell me about your arcade. Tell me about the arcade life, working in arcade, and was this the 90s, 2000s, early 2000s?
Late 90s, early 2000s. It was back in the day where you had the arcade, like bright lights, all the ticket games, all that stuff, like little kids running around. So we were basically like the babysitter at the mall more
Sure,
or less.
sure.
But like it was opportunity to like grow with the community, and then also the people that I interacted with at the other arcades when I traveled like on the weekends and stuff, they would come to the arcade, and then we would easily would have 30 to 40 people playing like fighting games on a Friday night. Like there was no problem to have like a mini tournament almost every weekend.
Wow.
And I mean, the other side was we were all paying for this, so like it wasn't the games that were on free play or like had a PlayStation or something set up. No, this was one arcade machine, 30 people. We're all waiting. People putting their quarters up, waiting. People playing other games, and like that was my thing. Like from 2000 to now, like that has been my thing, is building community based off of common interests and I can't even think of the word, but just similar interests. Like people were into the same games and stuff like that, and we just came together because it was fun.
Yeah.
There was no real there was competition, but it was just to see who was better among us, and then we just kept it in the game, and it is what it is.
When you're crowded around, was it an arcade system or was it like CRT monitor?
Arcade machines.
Yeah.
Well, for that, this was when I had gotten heavily into Tekken. I think Tekken 5 was the one that kind of launched my esports career, and that's what eventually got me into doing tournament organizing. Eventually, I became a volunteer at an event called Final Round in Georgia.
Okay.
And I went multiple years for that. Eventually, they saw how good of a job I was doing as a volunteer and asked me to become staff. And then I was the Tekken lead for Final Round for probably about 8 years.
Okay. Wow.
So I actually got to work with some people that worked with Bandai Namco. I'm good friends with Mark Markman. He's the biz dev for Evo. And
okay.
Richard Bantagui, he works for Blizzard, I believe.
Nice.
And I mean, we've all come up like through the FGC, and they like, I kudos to them because they moved on, still in the gaming industry, but they elevated way beyond what we were thinking that any of us were going to do at any. Like we were just more concerned with hitting buttons, not actually getting that next level.
Yeah. So okay, I wanna jump around a little bit here. You like making content with your son playing some Fortnite, is that right?
Yes, sir.
I love that because I love my sons. I have 3 boys, and two of them I play Fortnite with occasionally, and their lobbies make it a whole lot easier because they're new than me playing by myself. So it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. I will not be afraid to. I would not ashamed to admit, as my friends know, I make a new Fortnite email account every once in a while, quite often, to make the lobbies easier so I can get better.
Right.
But so you've had some content with your son playing Fortnite, and I saw a couple different videos. Walk me through that. What's the value in that for you and for your son? Let's hear your perspective on that.
Well, for me, it's because for the longest time I was anti Fortnite, like most people. It was like you see the kids doing dances all the time. You're like, okay, that's the shuffle, all that stuff. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then he really started to get into it, like started watching a lot of YouTube content creators and stuff like that, and like free games. So he's into playing it, and I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool. Like I played first person shooters coming up. Like my first first person shooter was Wolfenstein.
Ooh, yes.
Back in back in middle school, I was taking C++ class in I think middle school or high school, but we would secretly play the game while the teacher was up at the up at the board and everything, and
Yeah.
then like as soon as we come around, alt tab to try to get out of it. A couple of
No,
us
I
got
have
caught.
no idea. I have no idea what you're talking about at all. At all.
A couple of us had to, couldn't get on the computer, had to write out everything after that. But
Uh-huh.
I was in the first person shooters from then. Like I played Wolfenstein, Doom, Quake. Um, Quake 2 was when I actually started to get into like kind of competitive, but I didn't. This was also before I knew really what tournaments were. I played competitively because I wanted to be good. So like I created my own clan. I had a website on GeoCities.
Oh
Again,
wow!
aging myself.
Yes, aging us for sure.
I learned HTML. I learned all this stuff.
We are the same person.
Yeah, I wanted to be that guy. Like I wanted to be Fatality and all the other like top players.
Yeah.
So I was designing skins. I was doing stuff in paint. Like I was all in. And I feel that with him because like he already started to want to make videos. Like he wants to stream because I stream from time to time too on my Twitch.
Yeah, I've seen
and
that.
like he watches that and he's seen my videos, so now he wants to get into it too. And he's still a little too young to do the content himself, just for the legality sake. So I figure now if I'm creating the content but he's doing it with me, then I can show him kind of what I feel quality content is. When you take the time to really like edit your videos and have kind of a target audience and just build on that. And I just wanted him to see that from my perspective.
I'm watching this video now. You just got a win. Off you can see it on the feed if you slide over or whatever, but you just got a victory royale. Great editing. I'm impressed with your sensitivity skills on your mouse here. Or you're using mouse and keyboard, looks like, right?
Took some training. That actually took some training. I watched a couple videos on YouTube. Shout out to a content creator named Toby Wan Shinobi. He actually has a lot of so his approach to content is definitely in my wheelhouse because I try to observe things kind of, I guess, from a breakdown of why would you do this? Why would you make this decision? Why is this the right way to go as opposed to doing this? And I like a lot of that A and B testing, and then kind of seeing the extremes in both, and then kind of creating something that is more in line with how I play.
Okay. Well, I just subscribed to Toby Wan Shinobi. It does look like pretty good content.
His is a lot more. So his is definitely a lot more mental. So more understanding how to play the game, or I guess how to play the game, but also like he really breaks it down to like warming up and taking time to learn movement and things, and that's really helped my game a lot. Just viewing his content and his methodology just in general for me has helped a lot. It's helped my son too.
Yeah, his movement is pretty good. I do like this. So this has been here's my struggle. I've used aim labs and I want to use aim labs, but at the same time I'm like, I don't know if I'm getting my sensitivity to match up with what my sensitivities in the game, and so I don't ever use it. And then I'm thinking, why don't I just figure it out? So I don't know. I mean, I see a lot of streamers and gamers use that for warm up, or there's probably creative aim lab type stuff in Fortnite. I'm guessing.
Yeah, he actually he has playlists that kind of go through like steps to getting better, and then he also coaches people too. And that's what I've been trying to do with my son is coach him, because I play competitively, so I understand the mindset of when you get into the game and I can look at things that he's not looking at and be like, hey, take a look at this, watch this replay, and okay, I like that's what we're starting to do now. Is like I'm starting to break down our replays when we play together, and just be like, hey, this is what happened in this situation. Like, what would you do here? Like,
Yeah.
just recently, I actually adjusted some of the settings to make it more, I guess, more in line with pro settings. As far as sensitivity and things like that. And I'm like, I adjusted some settings. Just try and play it. See how you like it. And at first he was like, "Oh, this sucks. It's not, it's not as fast." Well, I was like, just give it a day or two.
Yeah.
And then a couple of days, actually yesterday, I asked him. I was like, "How's it playing?" He was like, "Oh yeah, it's pretty good. I'm getting used to it." I'm like, "There you go. Like
Nice.
just take some time."
Nice. Well, I've got some content here from your Tekken. I guess is a stream from 2 years ago, but I'm watching some. Man, like I was saying the other day, Tekken is definitely different now than what I remember from Mazio's Pizza back in 1999 or 2000 or whatever it was, 1992, and I just loved the whole big, gosh, it was like you would go into the, I remember the map, like I remember the platform you'd fight on. It wasn't like this with a background. It was just like an open platform, and that was just so memorable.
Oh, okay.
I had some friends. They created actually a game. I don't know if you've heard of it. There was a game that was similar to Tekken. It came out quite a while ago, and it was all black characters in like a Tekken style game. And now I can't even remember what it's called.
Is it 5 Force Fighters?
No. It is Black Salt. Black Salt.
Oh, I have not heard of it.
Yeah, Black Salt. I don't know how much they're doing anymore. But we had worked with them back in 2019. Black Salt Corruption. Let me pull up the trailer here. It's kind of hard to see in the small. Let's see. So it was created by they actually had a movie also, a movie called Black Salt, and a guy named Owen Ratliff, and it was based on some comics. A guy named Micah Jones, and it was I honestly don't know if it's still out, but that's the gameplay. It looks a lot like that. There was something interesting they did that Tekken didn't have. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it might have been that 3D movement there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what we call an arena fighter. So, that's more in line with, say, like some anime games, like the Naruto, the Naruto game that was like on GameCube. So like it's kind of a different. So it's in line with fighting games, but it's also a different. I don't want to say genre because it's still fighting games, but it's a different style of fighting games.
Sure.
Kind of like how Super Smash Brothers is. They consider it like some people consider it a fighting game, some consider it a party game. But I mean, when you really look at it, when you break it down, it is a fighting game. It's just not a traditional fighting game.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the same concepts, like spacing, movement, timing, all those concepts still apply. Is just a different way.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that. I honestly haven't met with them in a long time. But as you're wrapping up here, I know you've got, I think, is it TO Talks? Is that the podcast?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. TO Talk. Definitely want to talk about that. And then I know I see your portfolio and all the stuff you've done in social media management and the floor manager, tech and game lead with tournaments. Like if there's a dream hack type organization out there watching, or any kind of
I know some people at Dream too.
Yeah. If there's people out there watching looking for staff in the fighting game community specifically, or for those just in any gaming community or gaming genre, what can this is kind of like an interview question, right? Like when we look at your skills, when someone's interviewing you, what could you say to get them to say like, oh, you know what, we should hire you because you have this kind of experience? What would you say to them? What would you say to a hiring manager like that?
Well, especially for like large scale events, I've moderated streams with 25,000 plus viewers. I've facilitated events with, you know, upwards of 5 to 8,000 people. I've managed staff of like bracket runners and marketing, upwards of like 20, about 15 to 25. And then I've also done event setup and breakdown. I'm experienced with logistics, especially like ingress and egress with the relation to safety, as far as, you know, venues and things of that nature. And then also I keep up with like current trends. So a lot of the times I see like with events, people will hop on Twitter and immediately, you know, be like, this setup was messed up, or, you know, lag here, blah, 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 blah. And I feel like a lot of that is just education. Like there's people who are doing the setup, but they're, you know, they're used to doing the setup. They're not used to not actually competing and knowing the ins and outs of, you know, this monitor is notorious for, you know, not working with this game, or so on and so forth, or like this peripheral, you know, has compatibility issues, or, you know, updated drivers for this, or so on and so forth. And a lot of people, you know, they don't keep up with that just because it's, I guess it's not, I don't want to say it's not important, but it's not on their radar. You know, it's not at the forefront of their mind. But for me, all those things are just there. Like I'm always thinking about what's going on, what's happening. And then I'm also looking at the future of making things more streamlined, making our job easier. What can we do to make, you know, the event run smoother, or run into less headaches, or, you know, have everybody have a great experience, as opposed to, you know, like 2 or 3 people will get on there and, you know, give you the greatest praise in the world, but then you have that one guy who had that terrible experience, or what he felt was a terrible experience. And then you know, you don't want, like for me, I don't want to say that the entire event was a result of that, but I also want to talk to that person and be like, hey, like, you know, what was it that really caused an issue for you? And, you know, maybe we can work towards actually fixing that.
Wow, that's awesome. So I got your LinkedIn here pulled up. If there are folks out there looking for an amazing leader in the gaming and tech space, education as well, I'm guessing, and art, and I've seen some of your art. You know, this spotlight today is really just to share what you are doing. And I hope that people out there see this, and will feel free to take clips of this on Twitch. You know, we're streaming on multiple platforms. We're on Twitter, YouTube, Kick, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitch right now. So, yeah, man, Jonathan, this has been fun. Thanks for sharing. Any last words from you about yourself, or about the gaming industry, or about things you want people to know?
Sure. I'm Blacksamillion on just about all of my platforms. So TikTok, Twitch, Twitter. I'm on Blue Sky now because I got an invite, which is cool. Yeah, just, I mean, check me out. Like most of my content is primarily geared towards, like, I don't want to say it's geared towards kids, but I try to stay at least remotely family friendly. You know, the occasional 4-letter word, but I try to keep it as tame as possible. And, you know, check me out on YouTube. It's Blacksamillion there as well. Check out our podcast, TO Talks. We're on Twitter right now, TO Talk. That's twitter.com/TO, the letter T, the letter O, Talks. Like I said, we try to educate up and coming tournament organizers, and just anybody who's trying to get into the, I guess, fighting game community and the space, and try to educate them more to really understand the space, as opposed to just, you know, coming in and thinking that it's just a setup and a monitor like it was back in the day. Like we've moved on past that. So that's what TO Talks is for. We're going to try to move to other platforms. I want to move to LinkedIn because I feel like that's an untapped market. So look out for that. And just other than that, just be excellent to each other. Hire me because I'm open for work. And thanks, Bubba. I really appreciate this. I really, really do.
Yeah, man. It was fun getting to know you the other day and getting to know you more today, and doing a little research and watching some of your stuff over the past few days. And man, I just, I hope you find some amazing opportunities, and be excellent, as your creator code says. And
yes,
I definitely need to get on Blue Sky now, obviously, and add that to my list.
I got a couple invites. I'll shoot you one.
Okay. I think I might have created an account, or I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, I guess I need the invite code. You're right. Okay, I see that now. Sweet, bro. Well, thanks. You stick around in the control room there, on your phone. I'm just gonna shut down the show, and I'll come talk to you right afterwards. And you can stay right there.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thanks, brother.
Yep.
Okay, everyone, thanks so much for being here today on Spotlight, our first episode of Spotlight. If you know folks in the gaming esports space, there's thousands of them right now who are struggling with finding jobs because they've been laid off. Jonathan's awesome because he's working in this space still, and he will be a great addition to your team. So please check him out on LinkedIn, check out all his socials. We'll see you next time. Please like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We'll see you later. Stay amazing. Bye.